Okay, welcome back. We're handling the SketchUp Skill Assessment section number 4, the plan view diagram. We're going to create 2 plan view diagrams at 20 scale, one black and white and one in color. And first we need to prep our SketchUp model in order to do that. So I'm going to go back and I'm back in my SketchUp model, the one we just completed for the elevation or section and perspective rather. And I'm going to just turn off the section cut and put myself back in perspective mode, and then also just so I can kind of make it easier to see, go to our styles and ones in model and go back to architecture. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is get a replacement object for the plant materials, or add an object rather, in order to represent the plant materials in plan view. What I'm going to do is create 4 new layers that correlate to the shrubs and trees. Also, if you have layers in here that you don't need, they probably came up with other geometries, you can just put yourself on layer 0 and click on these and just move content to default layer. If you know you don't need it at all, you can just delete the contents, but I'm not sure, so I'm just there just to make it a little bit cleaner. Okay, now I'm going to create a layer called LA Trees Elevation, another one LA Trees Plan, create another one LA Shrubs Elevation, and then another one LA Shrubs Plan. Alright, get the names working right. So now what I'm going to do is go in here, and right now these trees are on just LA tree. Okay, cool. That'll be the container for the package, but within the package we're going to change these. So this tree is now going to be a elevation. Now I'm going to create the plan view tree. So, and also I'm going to move this thing over now. It looks like it's, well, let me do a couple of things. Let me delete that one. Let me grab this one. So I'm going to start from scratch and just make sure it's kind of centered. That's better. Now I'm going to grab the circle tool. I'm still on layer 0. I'm going to come out and I'm going to make this, let me actually make this smoother. When you select the circle tool, you have the option to change the amount of sides. I'm going to go 100 just to make it a really smooth circle. Come down here and just come out, and I'm going to make the radius like 22 feet. Boom. Okay. Now I'm going to sample this color and drop it in here. I'm going to use my offset tool and come in and just kind of make a small little node here, just so we can mark kind of a center point. I'm going to hit B for my materials and go down to a black color and then fill that portion, and I'm going to do an offset tool and just do, I don't know, 1/2 inch or something. Maybe 1 inch for this one. Delete that one and then fill that into so we have a nice outline. I'm going to double click in there again, messed up. Control A, everything, deselect the elevation tree. I'm going to make this a group, and I'm going to put that group on the layer of LA Trees Plan. Okay. Now I'm going to grab that and bring it up a little bit. Just enough so I'm above the items, I'm above the ground plane, because I don't want to cast a long shadow. Go back to plan view, now you can see we have our trees. Okay. I'm going to continue that same process for all of these now. And it's like for some reason I'm missing a tree. What happens on the tree? Why do I feel like I'm missing a tree and I'm not? Okay. So what I done, I just toggle off my section. Okay. So there goes the tree. So we'll repeat the process and we come in here and draw a circle. Same thing. Center point. And just kind of come out and eyeball this one. Looks like it's to about like right there. Sample the color. And come out maybe an inch. Come here. Myself a kind of a center point. And fill. Fill that. And then fill that. That's what I wasn't sure now. Okay. Back into that. Control A, deselect that. This becomes a group, and then that group gets put on LA tree plant. And then I am going to come back here and just move this thing up some. Boom, plant view. Okay, we got going on. Then we come over here and same thing. Put this guy on tree's elevation, and it's a little off, it looks like. Let me do this one first. Looks like it's kind of out to there. Whatever that is, I want you to be. Kind of come in, and we'll make this one inch pretty consistent, and that's good. And then back to the black color. Bam, bam. Select group that is on tree plan. Come in here, I'm just going to come up some, kind of eyeball that. Alright, take this other one now and just bring it back and make it more centered. Notice mine was off, yours is off. You can kind of do this. Alright, cool. So I have that. Then I handle the shrub. Kind of come in here. So there. There's there. I'll do this one at 1/2 inch. Oops. Well, I'll just eyeball a little bit smaller. Black. Just trying to show some line hierarchy. Boom. Boom. Okay. That is grouped up, and then it's put on plan. Okay, and then it's just moved up in the model to like halfway or something. Okay, so now my plant should be okay. So when I'm in plan view now, I should be able to see them. Okay, so now I can actually see the plant material, which is kind of nice. Now I'm gonna adjust the shadow some because I was missing some of that mound that's kind of there, so I'm gonna kind of adjust the shadow so I can see that. And I see my trees are still kind of high, because they're casting a big shadow. So I can kind of fix that and just bring it down a little bit, just a little bit more, just to kind of help that out. Come back and back here. Okay, that's decent to me. I noticed that a lot of my lights are kind of still twisted. What I can do, one of the things you can do is create a shortcut for that pivot tool to make this faster. You can, my shortcut for it is X. It allows me just to kind of quickly rotate this thing rather than having to go through the menu. It's just kind of a shortcut thing you all can use to kind of get your lights to be oriented in the right direction more quickly. Yeah. So anyway, like that, to get these things kind of straight. Just doing this kind of quickly so we can see. Those are good. Right there. Okay, right there. There. And I'm gonna be lazy and not do the rest. You should. I just want to get through this video. So, let me go back to plan view so we can see. Let me see how bad those lights actually look. It's kind of killing me. Maybe I won't be lazy. All right, quickly. Just kind of boom. Of course, if you've done this, you can kind of just fast forward through this part, but make these corrections while I see it. These won't be too crooked. All right, something like that. Oh man, looks like it's messed up. Alright, boom. Cool. That was a little cockeyed right there. Alright, cool. Kind of leaning a little bit, but that's okay. It's better than it was. At least in the right orientation. The shadow's casting decent, so get those as straight as you can be just to make it look better. Cool. One thing I notice here is that this is kind of not. There's no real color applied to it, so I'm gonna go find a light color for it, like a light pink color, and then we'll edit that and actually make it a little lighter. So it's almost like white. And maybe we'll make it a little opaque so we can actually see through it. There we go. It's nicer. Boom. And then I'll just match that color. To match that color now, I'll just grab that and come in here, drop that color in. And I want to do both sides, so might not see it, but it's doing it. Okay. Cool, so we have this kind of done. Okay, so now that we have all of our plants put back in plan view, we're gonna bring this thing into layout and kick these scenes out. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna kick the layout. Open up our artboard. And it's going to put in the last scene that we had saved. Okay, so what I want to do now is just kind of shrink this down. So I'm going to end up putting two of these things in here. I think it's approximately something like that. We'll mess with it, but I'll go in here. You can go scenes here as well. I guess before I do that, I should actually save the scene. So let me go back here and show you I'm gonna save the scene out. So I'm just gonna go to plan view, design extents. All right, scenes. Let me add a scene here. Let me call this just plan view color. And I'll update everything, update. And let me do another scene, and this time I'm going to change the style to the black and white. And let me turn off the section plane and come back here. We'll call this plan view B&W. And then update that. Okay, and then save that. So back here in the layout, let me update the model reference. All right, there we go. And now let me go into my scenes and let me do plan color first. Okay. And scale, let me make that a 20 scale. Okay. And I'm just gonna pop that thing down. Okay. And I'll do another one here, then I'll just update this one to the scenes, and this will be the black and white. All right. And there you have it. Really fast and easy. Now it's just left is to update this information. So that's going to be 0. This is going to be, we say 20 scale. That's an inch total, so that means this is 10. So that should be a 10. That's 20. 30. This must be 50 then. And this must be 70. Okay. So there goes your scale, and update the project title. This is SketchUp skill assessment, and just 4. And then I'll just call these. These are the plan view diagrams. Alright, and when you're done with that, you would just kick this thing out, file, export out as a PDF. I'm going to put it in my SSA folder. And this is SSA 4 diagrams. I'm going to save it out as a high resolution, export. Kick it out. There you go. Now to make these things clear again, let me just put this thing actually on hybrid. I can put a hybrid on and it'll clean up some of the line work and make it a little tighter. It'll still read fine. And make it 0.15. Okay. You can save this. I'll go ahead and save it out so you have it when and I'll call this on my desktop SSA. We'll call this. Okay, so we have it. Cool. Also, if you wanted to add, let me see on the assignment, do you add labels? Yeah, so let's add a couple of labels to this thing too. Print look decent, so we know it's working. So let's add some labels. Text, the same way we did before. Our text styles. We put in the Arial to keep it consistent. I think we made it like 15. So then now for label, for instance, I would come in here and do a call out, and that would be my the sculpture. All right. Kind of move this in. Okay. And of course, the stroke, we can make it all the way black. Same thing here. Okay. You can also do a fill on it so it pops out more, just so it reads. And then again, the endpoints too, you can change. So that might be one of those instead, or maybe like a 3. All right, and there you go. So you can add some labels like that and kind of complete this piece. Maybe let's just add the labels here. Let's do that one. Let's do this. This is going to be the sound. And that red metal. There you go. All that should be black. black. And I want that to be, this must have 3. So next time, let me actually click this thing and make this black and 3. Okay. Okay. And what else will I label? Traffic light. Oh, and of course the last thing to fill. Alright, so those are some labels. That's cool. Fulfill the requirement. You can add the same labels down here just for practice. To kind of get a feel for how to do it. Okay. And in this way you can begin to generate a diagram. Save that out again, and one last thing that I'll show you. Why not? Let me go back here, and I'm going to show you a plugin. This is a quick way you can also generate. Let me change my style so we can see. Home. Okay, it's better. Turn that off. Okay. So what I want to do, let me just turn some stuff off here. Okay, default, get rid of that. Depth points, let me get rid of that. Okay, let me turn off that stuff. Let me turn off that. Turn off. Okay. So really all I want is that to be on, and what I'm going to do is just make that into a group for now. Then I'm going to go to my extensions and say contours, and I'm going to say 1 foot. It'll run and generate contours, and in this way I can also produce kind of a contour map for myself too and add that. It won't be dashed, I can't control that, but I can at least show the contours. A lot of times you have to go into it and run another extension. Where is it? Simplify contours. Oops. Well, there you go. See, glitching. Let me at least weld them, see if that does anything. So I'm just running a command to try to connect the contours, because sometimes it doesn't appear after you generate them in layout, so you have to kind of go through a few steps. Hopefully it will work. If not, then we'll forego this process, but I just wanted to show you kind of quickly do this. And while that's doing that, though, just for now, I'll go ahead and export these. So images, and we put this. Save over that, same thing. Yeah, right. Cool, nice and clean too, so that looks good. All right, so let's check on, let's see if the contours thing is working. Nope. Nope. Okay. Cool. And let's see if that actually works. Let me save this out. And let's see if we can update it and see if it'll bring in our contours. Let's update model reference. No, okay. Trying to grab just the contours. One last piece, just show you how I kind of troubleshoot this stuff, and let me explode this. I'm making that again, and then just bringing this down. Alright, save. Alright, well, it's glitching, so not required for this, but you can get that thing to work out. You just have to keep on playing with it and get that really that simplified contours to work is really the key to get this thing to work. But at any rate, that's not required, but I did want to show you how you can generate contours on this thing too. In worst case scenario, you could always kick this thing out as an image from SketchUp directly, or export rather. In 2D graphic and save it as an image, and you can scale it that way. So there's multiple ways to kick these things out. Layout just allows you to accurately scale, and this is what I want you all to use for the exercise. If any questions, send me an email or catch me in studio or class.